A customer came in with tires worn to the cords on the outer edges. Middle tread, brand new. His pressure? 32 PSI. Same number he'd used for 20 years. His vehicle called for 38. That 6 PSI gap cost him $800 at half the tire's rated life. 32 isn't a universal number. It's an outdated average, destroying tires across the country. Today, why it's wrong, where to find the real number, and a pro rule that doubles tire life. Why 32 PSI is outdated. For decades, 32 actually was a decent average. In the 80s and 90s, most sedans weighed around 3,000 pounds and ran high-profile tires with generous sidewall. 32 PSI gave that soft, floaty ride Americans loved. But look at the road now. We're driving 5,000-pound SUVs and 7,000-pound EVs on low-profile tires with much thinner sidewalls. When you take a heavy modern vehicle engineered for 38 or 42 PSI and drop it to 32, you're forcing the sidewall to flex excessively under the weight. That creates internal heat, and heat is the #1 killer of rubber. Over time, the outer edges of your tread vanish while the center stays pristine. That's not a defective tire. That's an underinflated tire. And it's costing you $800 every time you replace a set at barely half its rated mileage. Multiply that across a lifetime of car ownership, and you're talking about thousands of dollars thrown away because of a number someone told you in 1995. The sidewall number trap. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. Never set your pressure based on the number printed on the tire sidewall. I see this weekly. A customer comes in with a car riding like a brick and vibrating through the steering wheel. I check the tires, 51 PSI. They point at the sidewall and say, "It says 51 right there." That number is the maximum cold pressure the tire can safely hold at its maximum load rating. It has absolutely nothing to do with what your specific vehicle needs. It's like seeing a shoebox rated for 500 pounds of pressure and lacing them until your feet turn blue. Running at max sidewall pressure overinflates the tire for your vehicle's weight, reduces the contact patch to a narrow strip down the center, and wears the middle bald while the edges stay untouched. The opposite problem of underinflation and equally expensive. The door jamb sticker. Open your driver's side door and look at the tire and loading information placard on the door jamb. This is the only number that matters for your vehicle. The engineers who built your chassis spent thousands of hours testing that specific weight distribution with those specific tire dimensions to find the exact pressure that balances braking distance, cornering grip, fuel efficiency, and ride comfort simultaneously. That single sticker represents more real-world testing data than most drivers will ever encounter in their lifetime. If that sticker says 35 and you're running 32, you're driving a compromised vehicle every single day. And you're paying for it in tire wear, fuel burn, and braking performance without even knowing it. Why set it and forget it fails. Tire pressure isn't static, it's physics. Air expands when hot and contracts when cold. For every 10-degree Fahrenheit drop, your tires lose approximately 1 PSI. Set your tires to 32 on a 75-degree Fahrenheit afternoon in October. Then, a cold front drops it to 35 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. You're waking up at 28 PSI without touching anything. At 28 PSI, the tire's contact patch cups. All the pressure shifts to the shoulders with a hollow gap in the middle. Rolling resistance jumps 3 to 5%. Your engine works harder just to move the car forward. You're burning roughly a gallon of gas per tank just fighting your own tires. And it gets worse in reverse. Summer heat can push pressure 3 to 4 PSI above your cold setting, changing handling and braking characteristics without you knowing. That TPMS light every first frost? Your car isn't broken. Physics stole your air. Load changes everything. The pressure on your door jamb is usually the light load recommendation. Driver and maybe one passenger. Loading up the family for a 500-mile road trip with a roof rack and luggage? That standard pressure is no longer enough. Adding 800 pounds of people and cargo compresses the tire further. To maintain the correct contact patch shape, you must increase pressure to match the added weight. Check your owner's manual. Many European cars, like BMW and Mercedes, list two numbers, one for normal driving and one for full load/high speed. Some Japanese manufacturers include this information on the door jamb placard itself in smaller print most people never read. Running 32 PSI at 75 miles per hour with a fully loaded car creates massive sidewall heat that leads to ply separation. The internal layers of the tire literally unglue from each other. That's how highway blowouts happen. Not from potholes, not from nails, from pressure that didn't match the load. The 10% thermal rule. This is how professionals actually dial in perfect pressure. Check your PSI cold. Car sitting at least 3 hours. Let's say it reads 35. Drive 20 minutes at highway speed. Check again immediately while hot. In a properly calibrated system, pressure should increase by approximately 10%. In this case, about 3.5 psi. If it jumped 20% or more, your starting pressure was too low. The tire flexed excessively, generating too much heat, and the air expanded beyond safe limits. If it barely moved, you started too high, and the tire isn't flexing enough to grip properly. Adjusting based on this thermal feedback is exactly what race teams use to optimize grip and tire life on every pit stop. It works just as well on your daily driver, and it takes 5 minutes to learn your baseline. The nitrogen upsell. Shops love charging $20 to $50 to fill tires with nitrogen instead of regular air. Here's the reality. Regular air is already 78% nitrogen. Pure nitrogen molecules are slightly larger, so they leak through rubber pores slower than oxygen. It also contains less moisture, keeping pressure marginally more stable during temperature swings. Worth it for a fighter jet? Yes. A race car? Sure. Your daily driver? Only if you never check your tires. I'll be honest, I fell for this upsell once before I understood the chemistry. A $10 digital gauge and 30 seconds in your driveway once a month does the exact same job the $50 nitrogen fill claims to do. Don't let a shop upsell you on something a free air pump handles. What to do now? 32 PSI is an average, and averages are for drivers who replace tires every 2 years instead of getting the full 70,000 miles they paid for. Buy a quality digital gauge. Those bent stick gauges at gas stations are off by up to 5 PSI. Open your driver's door, find your number, check once a month, always cold, and adjust for seasonal temperature swings. When seasons change, recheck within the first week. That's when the biggest pressure shifts happen. Keep a log if it helps. Even a note in your phone with the date and PSI reading tells you instantly if something is leaking or drifting. That's it. No special tools, no shop visit. Just precision that saves you hundreds of dollars per year in tire wear and fuel alone. Your tires are the only 4 contact points between your car and the pavement. Every braking decision, every emergency swerve, every wet highway mile depends on those 4 patches of rubber. Don't let a golden rule from 1985 dictate your family safety. Do me a favor right now. Go check your door jamb. Drop your car model and what you've actually been running in the comments. Let's see who's been following the engineers and who's been guessing. Subscribe for more. We've got a full lineup coming that covers everything from maintenance secrets to the smartest buys on the market. If you care about your car and your wallet, this channel was built for you.